And we are live on Skills Not Pills for our second interview of the day. So excited to be live with Serenity Ravenwolf. And I'm your host, Carrie Hummingbird, and just really delighted about all the speakers that are coming out to support the movement, Skills Not Pills, and share their own story of healing, through whatever means they did to overcome whatever it was that they were told would never be healed, would never ever go away. And yet all these people are coming forward and saying, you know what, I healed, and this is what my journey looked like. And now, I lead people on their own journey of discovery of their own healing, like how they're going to do that. And so today's guest is no different. We're going to talk about some challenging subjects potentially today, but it's going to be great. And so I would like to introduce you now to Serenity Ravenwolf, and we're going to talk about how to lead with love, being your own loving presence. So for more than 30 years, Serenity has been living, teaching, and promoting consciousness through all forms of media. She is a recipient of the 2017 Global Influencer Award and a 2017 Heart and Spirit Award. She's a best-selling co-author, results coach, mentor, law of attraction expert, and an intuitive and sensitive empath. So she has created the SoulSync process, a conversational energy resolution tool that leaves you and the participants feeling deeply loved and serene, as should be appropriate because her name is Serenity. And so, so welcome, Serenity. Thanks for being on with us on Skills Not Pills.
Hi, everyone. I like to just always mention to everybody and look into the camera and let everyone know, hello, my beautiful friend. You're amazing, magnificent, and totally rocking awesome. And I love you.
Oh, that is so seductively beautiful, Serenity. Oh, so beautiful.
Isn't that what love is all about?
It is. It is. It's about sharing that beautiful heart-centered vibration. So did you just walk on the planet that way, or did you have a journey you want to tell us about?
Oh, no. It was indeed a journey. I am an ascended master, an angel, just like the rest of us, experiencing that went through the valley of forgetfulness, and I'm experiencing a human suit experience. And like everybody else who was born with potentially, a lot of us with our gifts on, energetically sensitive, born different, that has to be inverted commas. And, I turn a lot of my gifts off just to fit in. I learned really early that the way I view the world is very, very different than everybody else. So I learned to shut up, keep it to myself. And for many years, I thought that I hated me and stuff. And what I realized was I was energetically sensitive and I was picking up everyone else's hatred and fear and anxiety of the world. So I kind of had it on steroids. Eventually I learned to handle that, but in my life, and like everyone else, I was trying to fit in to, like a square peg trying to fit into a round hole. And recently, in the last 5 years or so, I've realized the concept of you being like a square peg trying to fit into a round hole is just a concept that was created to keep us small. There's no such thing as a construct. We're all different shapes. There's no such thing as a round hole to fit in. We're magnificently beautiful, whatever shape you are. Perfectly imperfect in every given moment. And like everyone else trying to fit in, I divorced so much of myself, hidden so much of myself, buried so much of myself, chopped off so much of myself that when I was about 37 and a half, I looked in the mirror into my eyes, into my soul, and I said one day, who are you? And in a millisecond before I could blink again, I said, forget it, don't answer that. I don't even like you. So I said, show, like future pacing with NLP, I said, show me my life in 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years time. And it's like fireworks all went off at once. And I had a feeling of, if I felt like a shell now, compound interest over time, I was like the walking dead zombie. And I broke down and cried. And that was my moment, my defining moment where I knew something had to change. And so I have had to make agreements with myself to be true to myself. Never, ever again divorce any part of myself to please another. that in that moment, from that moment forward, I would shine like the midday sun. And if you had a problem with it, I'll expect that you're just going to put on your sunnies. Aussie term, sunglasses, sunnies.
Yeah, because if you haven't noticed, Serenity is from Australia.
G'day, mate.
So I love that, because I had a similar moment in front of, well, I had several moments in front of the mirror, but I had one in particular where I was looking at I was crying. I was really upset about something going on in my marriage. And I was looking in the mirror at this woman, and I'm just like, who are you? And then I was like pleading to myself for help, like, somebody help me. And I looked into my eyes, and I like realized for just a moment there was this depth and this presence that I'd always sort of felt intermittently, almost like behind my head, you know, like it's looking.
It always sort of comes slightly back, but to the right for me.
And so I was like, what? Okay, so this thing, and then this like realization came up through me, and I looked at myself in the eyes, and I was like, you are a good person. Even though at the time I was doing things that were not what I would qualify as good. You know, but there was this voice within me, or this presence within me, that I finally saw or became aware of in a deeper way, that it started to show up for me more and more and more as I was in this low place.
Yeah. Well, that set me on the journey of being true to myself. And that was the moment I decided that every day I would wake up and become my own loving presence. That I realized that, you know, we all come here for the perfect parent, right? We want the perfect parent, but there's no such thing. No one can parent you better than the greater part, the higher aspect, your higher self, better than you can, because no one knows exactly what you need in any given moment. No one knows exactly what you need to hear. So we're looking for something outside of ourselves when we really came here to be our own divinely loving presence, which is like a parent. That one that you would imagine Buddha or Jesus to be with everybody. We're here to be that for ourselves. It's like, you know, we're all looking for the second coming of the Messiah, and instead we're all 7-point-some billion of us, the second coming of the Messiah. And we're walking around in what I call some version of a sleepwalking in the dream of the 3D matrix. And the 3D matrix is where life is happening to us instead of through us. And it's dense and it's icky. So it was a big moment. Scary though.
Yeah, it's scary. And I think that, well, I think based on some of our communications, you've gone to some dark places. I know I have.
Well, that realization for me took me to the place where I'd been with the same, I was 37 and a half. I'd been with the same man since I had just turned 18. We'd been married for 13 to 15 years. I had 3 children under the age of 10. The youngest was only just turned 12 months old. So I had some choices to make. And one of the choices was, can I be and have all of me with this man? And the answer was no. Just me showing up as some of me totally offended this person. And that's not right, wrong, or good or bad. Because he's perfect just the way he is. It just means we're out of alignment. So I made the choice to separate and divorce. And then some months after that, when the realization of what was really happening finally hit the brain cells, I went, holy whatever, snapping butterfly wings. And that put me into this like totally beyond place. And I realized my deepest fear for this entire lifetime was to be alone and doing alone and raising 3 children by my own. And what if I never found anybody? And what if I was alone forever? So I quickly dived like this. It's like the mirror moment. It's just a moment, but it's huge. And it dived me down into this deepest, darkest depths of depression. And over a series of weeks, I even had my 8-year-old one night before she went to bed. She said, "Mum, please ring someone for help." She was crying. She said, "Please ring someone for help." So out of the mouths of babes, that night I tried to ring the helpline, crisis care or something. I forget what it's called. I was trying to ring it for 3 hours and I couldn't get through. So I eventually rang a girlfriend who came and stayed the night. And then the next morning, I was sitting on the couch in the living room for 3 hours in fetal position. Now there's crying, and then there's crying from the depths of your soul. That morning, I did that for 3 hours. She didn't know what to do. She rang my other girlfriend, good Scorpion. She rang a Scorpion. Said, Joanne, I don't know what to do. So Joanne came around and they took me to the doctor, and they, everyone then made the decisions for me of putting me on medication that totally knocked me out, allowed me to sleep, dulled my senses, while my girlfriend was helpful and she took my kids for a couple of weeks. And she'd come around every day to make sure that I was eating. But they all made the choices for me. Never once did anyone say, do you want to go on this medication? When you're in those moments, you kind of lose all your choices. People are doing it for you because they don't know what to do with you. They don't know how to handle you in the situation.
That is so true. And then once you're on those things, it can be tricky to get off because it's like, I don't think people realize that you can take them and it sort of like holds back the tide, but the tide is still rolling against the wall.
Well, it didn't make my fear go away.
Yeah.
Like that fear, until I faced it, was always there. And the only way I was able to, and the thing that helped, I was only on the medication for say 6 months in total, in a few months of weaning myself off. But that said, there was this little whisper inside, intuition, that gut feeling, that knowing, that something that's unseen, that is your guiding light, the golden cord, if you want to call it something, guiding you forward. I had to learn to listen to that. And I believe only because I'd made that decision when I was looking in the mirror to be true to me. And I'm not searching for any guru outside of myself. It's me and you, God. That's what I said. And to me, God is an acronym. It just means great overall designer, of which we are all that. It's me and you, God. I learned to listen to your whispers, or let's call it quits now. I said, thunder and lightning, get Thor to dump his hammer and Zeus to hit me with the lightning bolt right now. We learn to do this together. Nothing outside of you and I. Or do me now. And it was that whisper that guided me out of the darkness and into the light. And it's learning to listen to, and that whisper really is that divinely loving presence. Because the more I listen to it, and it's not that it ever gets loud like the cicadas in the bush, but it does get a little louder and I'm more present. And I decided that to stop being my own world's worst abuser. Now, this far down the journey, someone tries to abuse me in any way. I say, honey, you're not doing a very good job. No one knows how to abuse me like me. Would you like me to show you how to do it?
Oh, wow. That's so true.
So you could actually, offend me. So really, when I realized I am my own world's worst abuser, there is nothing on this planet that anyone could ever say or do to me that is worse than I have done to myself. Ever. That little voice in the head that constantly says, you're useless, you're worthless. You can't do that. Don't shine your bright side light. Who are you to be bright? Who are you to be amazing and magnificent? Now it's coming in with the Marianne Williamson poem, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's too early, I've only had one coffee. But that is the abuse, is what I mean by we're our world's worst abuser. No one can abuse you like that. Someone does something horrific to us and we abuse ourselves for it for the rest of our lives. And unforgiveness is a part of that abuse. Because, I think Dr. John DeMartini talks about what we can be thankful for is our fuel to drive us forward. Anything we are less than thankful for, deeply grateful for the experience or whatever it is now our baggage. As some of us choose, rather than to forgive, and forgiving is releasing, and it's not condoning anything anyone ever did to us, ever. And if anyone is ever in an unsafe situation, please get yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Your divinely loving presence and put yourself in a safe place surrounded by loving, supportive people. But yeah.
What a journey. Wow. Well, I think that you wanted to share with us a little meditation.
I did.
Tell us about what you're going to do with us. So if everybody can decide that they want to participate, this is going to be great.
That's okay. So I call it imagineering. So the greatest thing to drive us into our dreams and our dream life, I light up when I talk about this stuff. See,
I see that.
Is belief. You know, what's his name? Neville Goddard was one of the first people to talk about the belief, and he uses other words, but the imagineering process kind of is a excerpt of that. And when he would get you to imagine what it is that you deeply desired and to put as much color in it and make it as real as you can. And when you really feel and believe that you can have it, it's almost as good as yours. You just got to be aware that it's not here in this 10 seconds. Because one, you have a chance to say, oh, maybe I didn't really want that. And to allow you to come into alignment with it, and it's a very beautiful process. So all we're doing is pretty much in our mind's eye, short meditation, say 4 or 5 minutes, and I'll walk you, I can make it longer, but let's make it short. And to give you the idea of the process where you can think in your mind's eye. So are you thinking now, everyone, what it is that you would really deeply like and desire, what you would like your life to be like? That might be a good topic for this morning. So if you'd like to participate, are you ready, Carrie?
Yes, I am.
I'd like to join us. I wrote out a few notes, so where I can, I like to speak in the first person because there's a great power speaking in the I instead of the you, because to me, you was always someone else. So therefore, when you speak the I, it's as good as speaking like the I am presence, and that's the God presence is within each and every one of us. So don't let me confuse you when I go in and out of I and you sometimes. Where I can, I use I. So therefore, I'd like to just say to everybody, close your eyes. And I expand my energies out past my body, the room that I'm in, outside the house, all the way out past the universe and beyond. In my mind's eye, on the movie screen of my mind, I play the movie starring me and my deep desire. Turn up the colors, the sound, the feeling, the touch, the vibration. How does this feel? More importantly, add as much emotion and feeling to that as you can. Make it as real as you can. Turn it up. If I have zero reference of what having my deep desire may feel like, imagine it. Imagination is the power of creation. Imagine what this version of me did, everything that shaped me into having this deep desire be my reality. Yummy, isn't it? I take the image, the feeling, all the learning, all the experiences that shaped this version of me and insert this into my current past timeline, maybe 5 minutes ago, or even 10 years ago, or even when I was age 5. All the things I did, all the experiences I experienced, unraveling from my past to my now moment, changing my timeline for all time as the here of this now. As the ripples of this timeline change, creating a new dimensional timeline, I may experience sensations in my body, tingles, or I may experience nothing. Either way, I am now experiencing a different timeline from the me of a moment ago. This new me has all the experience and knowledge required to be and have my deep desire. The more this is experienced on the movie screen of my mind, the realer this is my reality. This is all that is required for my deep desire to be my reality within my inner familiar folder. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I am one within the power that create all new realities. May I always trust the divine flow. May I always know there is enough. May I always know I am enough. Perfectly imperfect, amazingly magnificent, just the way I am. May I always know there is enough for the highest vibration of all, and so it is, as I am now. And in a moment, you'll come back fully present, fully aware, vibrantly alert within your body, knowing that you are your own divinely loving presence, your deepest, most amazing ally that you have in this lifetime. I love you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. It was a little quickened, but...
Oh, it's beautiful. I love your voice. It's so relaxing. So nurturing and relaxing. Yeah, it is.
It's great when you can turn it on and turn it off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a really powerful visualization. And I hope that everybody out there received a message or a vision about, you know, your future, your potential. It's actually quite interesting that you presented that, because one of the first steps to healing is the belief that you can heal.
And to imagine a different reality.
And to imagine
or something different.
Yeah, a different reality where you can actually be transformed from the inside out.
That's why I wanted to sort of finish off with it.
Yeah, it's great.
And if everyone has anything, if they can write what they experienced throughout the process in the comments, even after we've gone, we'd love to hear that and love to respond to that as well.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. And so how do people work with you, Serenity? What's your normal process for working with people?
At the moment, you can go to serenityravenwolf.com, and that would be, and there's no hyphen in there. And that's, you can find me there. There's a contact there. There's a message. You can directly message me, and time zones permitting, I will respond to you as quickly as I can. I'm at my computer a lot. That's just the easiest way without going into anything long. And I have a process called the clarity process that I'd love to share with everybody. I will just plonk the link in the chats as quick as I can, so it's up the top. So if everyone wants to scroll through and find that, because the clarity process goes really good, beautifully hand in glove with the Imagineering process, because it helps you find what it is that you do desire. And clarity is king. The more clarity you have, like in the writing and part of that process, the more real you can make it in your mind. And the realer you make it, the sooner you'll have it.
I love that. So good. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your gifts with us, and for supporting people on this process of, re-envisioning their lives and transitioning from what they've been raised with, what they've received, into what they're dreaming, what they'd like to have happen, and introducing us to some good tools for that. So thank you, Serenity.
Thank you. I like to actually soon, I'm working towards creating Meditation Mondays as a Facebook Live. It's not ready yet. Give me a few months, but that lovely voice that you said,
yes,
it'll be regular on Monday, which is my Tuesday morning. So you guys can have it on Monday, but Meditation Monday, keep an eye out for that.
Awesome. I love it. I love your voice. It's awesome. Okay, you guys, thanks for joining in with us today. And thank you, Serenity. And we'll see you next week on Skills Not Pills. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.